Just going over these master cylinders, the clutch one, it's not real good down there. You'll never pick it up on this little camera here, but I'm going to have to sleeve that. The only way that'll ever get used, if that gets bored out and put a brass sleeve in there, or whatever it is, unless I can get another one. Now, there's a piece missing off this spring. There's supposed to be a little retainer thing sits on the end of that. That's not there. This thing here's just about had it, so I'm going to have to make one of them or get another one. It's not looking real good, this clutch master cylinder. I've got the new pieces to rebuild it, plus there's a couple other little bits. Little washer thing that sits in the bottom, but yeah, unless I can come across a new one of them, I'm going to have to do something I've never done, is repair a master cylinder properly. We'll see what happens with that. I'm just going through what we actually need on our next order. So now I'm going to check the wheel cylinders. I managed to fix that. The slave cylinder's done. It's got a new boot on it. New rubber is inside. The cylinder was quite good, the bore on that. So I managed to just clean it with Scotch-Brite and sandpaper. So that's done, ready to have oil put in it. About to strip this wheel cylinder and see what it's like. Straight away I can see we need new dust covers. They didn't come in the kit. I'm going to try and track them down. One set weren't too bad, the other are just way too swollen. Anyway, I'll strip this and see what it's like. These are all stripped now, they're ready to be assembled. The bores are quite good in them. I managed to free these up as well. They've all been pulled apart, put back together. I'll detail them later. I'm going to do the front ones now. These are 19mm. The front ones are 22mm. So I just press them out with the press. They're just jammed in there. I'll keep that all separate. These things, one side's left-hand thread and the other side's right-hand thread. So something to keep in mind when you're assembling them. All this stuff stripped. The adjusters are good, and the bore on these is good. So I'm just going to give them a quick clean up, and tomorrow I'm going to assemble those. I've got all the parts to put them together. Just doing these. I've done these ones. Make sure that flared bit faces in. That's how they work. If you put it on the other way, they won't work. So that faces in. Doing this, just put some soft jaws in there. That faces, that ring bit doesn't go like that, it goes like that, faces that way. So I just push it there, get a rag and just shove it on with my fingers. I don't use any tools to put that on. This tool a few months ago on eBay to hone out these seal cylinders. I got it particularly for this because it says it does 19mm to 63. No way that fits in there, it just does not fit. It won't even fit in the 22s. These are the 22s, so I'm doing the old finger hone trick. Just spin it around, it's working. Well, I don't know if I can do it with the 19s, I'll give it a go. But then I've got to buy another one of them things, because it won't fit in the master cylinders. And I can't do that with my finger. But these are actually in pretty good nick, so they'll be fine. We'll just give them a coat of clear, let them hang there. They're getting replaced. I'm not using them, they're stuffed. So I've got to get 5 of them. I'll let them dry. These next. I've already pulled them apart and freed them up. They were stuck bad. But now I'm going to clean them up. Fully reconditioned and painted clear. They're ready to go on the car, but I'm going to get new ones of them. I'm not 100% sure yet. The only ones I can find are in Poland at the moment. If I have to get them from there, I will. I've got to get 5 of them, one for the clutch. They're done. They're 135 euros each. So there's 270 there euro. You can't buy them. They're priceless. Now I've got to do the back ones. Exact same setup. But I don't have the kit for these yet because they stuffed up the order. That's coming in the new order. Right, these are all completely finished and I painted them in clear. If you ever pull these apart, remember that these are in opposite. Like one side's left-hand thread, the other side's right-hand thread. So you've got to set them up differently, like one's a left, one's a right. Otherwise they'll adjust weird. You may be able to adjust it the way it should be. But I'm happy they're done. I'm just waiting on the new kit to put those rear cylinders together and everything's done. All the brakes are ready to be assembled. pretty big job. I just got to do the master cylinders now. I have the stuff for that, but one of the bodies isn't very good. It's going to need sleeving, or it's going to need something. I'm not even sure if I can do that. We'll see. See, these little parts, Autumns do sell them. They're like 45 euros each or something. So you can buy them, but they're fully restored. They're going on the car. They're 135 euros each. They're worth heaps, and these ones, I don't even know if you can buy them, but they wouldn't be much cheaper. What I'm going to do right now is see how this comes up. That's the worst one, so I'll just give it a clean, see what it looks like. Yep, that's nothing wrong with that. That's plenty good. Good enough. That was the worst one, so right now that's just going to be going back on the car. They'll do. Some of the stuff I'm working on today, I'd get a flutter out of that, but it seems like it might be clogged up. I'll pull that apart. That thing needs cleaning, and there's a filter missing out of it, I believe. This switch, we only have one, unfortunately. I'll try and get another one, but that's got to be cleaned up. This part here, I think it's a common problem. That snaps off, that's busted. This one doesn't even have it, so I've got to make that. I've got to get them sorted out. So that's what I'm doing. I'll fix this coil up, make sure it works. May even get a new one. We'll see. Anyway, that's what I'm doing just at the moment. First I'll fix this. That came out really good. Like, that was pretty ugly. There's little things like that that just make a car look good. You open up the door and you see that, it looks shiny, it's not covered in paint. They're the original screws. I need another one of them for the other side. This car didn't have it, but the hole's there for it. I think it had a sticker thing there. But if I can ever get one, we'll put one of those on the other side, but I want the exact same one. The fuel pump. It's trying to go. It's making a fluttering noise. I just use that little battery there. It's 12 volt. But it's trying to go. I'm hoping it's blocked up. So I'm going to pull that apart and see what's inside it. The rest of the fuel system was blocked up. That'll be blocked up. I reckon that'll work. We'll see. I'll pull it apart. Fuel in it. How's that? For all those years, it's still got petrol in it. You know, just make sure that long one goes to the middle and the bottom, and the shorter one goes to the side there. That's sitting in there, and I had that hose there coming in and the other one going out. It was pumping, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think the battery might have went a bit flat, so I'll give it a charge overnight and see what happens. I'm hoping that thing works. It's something else you don't have to buy. It was pumping, so we'll see. These things done, all fixed, new bits put on there. There's a special little rubber there. We've got one, but I'll get two new ones. I was pretty sure you can buy them. Got new stainless screws. They can go on tomorrow. I ended up painting them with that silver stuff. It's sort of fake chrome. That's all ready to go on. Get a bit of a flutter out of this thing, but I'm sure it's blocked up with dirt. It's probably stopping it from running. I've undone these screws here. It doesn't do nothing. So I'm presuming this clip here is holding it together. So I'm going to pull that off and see if I can get it apart, clean it. I'm hoping that will fix it. Like, this bottom bit goes here. That was full of muck. I just got that little piece out. It's still dirty. So it's got to be full of shit. That part fixed up. Come out quite good. I believe that's a fuel filter. There's supposed to be a filter in there, which we don't have, but we'll get it. This thing here, I haven't been able to get it apart. I can get it to make it's a flutter when I hit the power, but every time I go on and off with the power, it'll flutter, and it's got to be filthy. This thing, I had to polish that. I think it's glass. I had to really, really polish that and clean it out with all different things just to get that stuff off it, that dead fuel. I'll give that a light blast with that glass. The same stuff I put in the aqua blast with the glass, crushed glass, yeah. Does a way nicer job. Anyway, that part's done. This bit, I'd like to get going. I don't want to buy that. I haven't done that yet. That'll be tomorrow. I've had to go over to do a few things, buy parts, and I went over to the chrome platers. It's taken a bit, but he had a big backlog because he's had a lot of problems, but it'll be getting done soon. And I'm happy with how that come up. It looks nice. More parts today. They're hand delivered from Japan. That's that switch that I bought a few months, or Matt bought a few months ago. Genuine Honda part. And what I'm told is Honda actually remake parts for a lot of their cars. Every now and then they'll just remake stuff. That's what that is. That's a brand new switch, a dimmer switch. And that's a seal kit for the rebuild kit for the rear wheel cylinders, 19mm. I just installed that dimmer switch. That was a bit of a trick getting that in. That's a brake light pressure switch. That's the steering column seal. We've got a brand new tacho cable. So I'm going to get that. I'll probably put them in. I'll see if it's good to put that in now. I will. Anyway, new dimmer switches in. Not easy, especially when you push one of the retainer nuts out and drops down. You got to get it back in. Oh my God! I'll give you the tip. I'll go around the other side. I'll just film it in. See that thing there? That's a tacho cable. Make sure if you're ever assembling one of these Hondas, you put that in when you put the dash in. That's the tip of the day. Do that, otherwise it'll drive you crazy putting that in. It'll drive you absolutely crazy. Anyway, the only thing I've got left to put in there is the master cylinders, and I've got the rubbers that cover all that, and that hole there is for the speedo cable, and that's quite easy to get at. Got the new rubber on where the steering column comes out. It's quite tricky to put in. Everything was tricky. That's new. I've rewired that so those wires fit. Put all that sort of stuff on here. I'm pretty happy with that, but man, what a job putting that cable in. You got to take the dash back out, eh? Unless you got 5-year-old girl hands. No, even then, it's not easy. You can do it. I did do it, but I had to pull a lot of parts off that thing. I had to strip most of it back out. You just can't get it on. This car's looking great. Now that's pretty much ready now. I'll put a few more bits on. I'm about to work on the coil, the resistor. I've got to rewire the plugs for the headlights because Matt cut them. So I can fit the headlight, whatever they call those bits where they hold the headlight on, that sit in there. All that can go on. Now it's looking pretty nice. It's a pretty cool little car actually. I'm starting to like it. Anyway, that's all done. I've got other stuff to do now. Right, this clutch one, it's pretty much going to need sleeving. If I hone it anymore, I'm going to have to get bigger rubbers and stuff for it, so that's no good. This one here is good. I've managed to save that one. So that's good. I've aqua blasted these, cleaned them, they're all good. That one's good. They're ready to go on. I've got those little rubbers there, you can see them just there. Just put them on. I'll do that tomorrow. I've run out of time. These things here, not easy to come by, but I've managed to track them down. They look like they're the exact same ones in California. I've got 4 brand new ones coming. They're not actually for a Honda, but they're the exact same material, so I'll be able to get them on. I've got clips coming with it and everything, so I'll just have to bend it to shape and they're going on. What else? I just wanted to mention that with the starter on the little Honda, they actually, one of the guys told me who watches my videos, what's Boy Stance Honda? I have to double check that. I'm not sure what his first name is, but yeah, he told me that they did make 2 600 Honda starters. One's a Mitsuba and the other one's a Denso. So I think our original one was Denso. These two we got are Mitsubas. They're just a bit different, but they're going to be fine. And I can probably flog them off and get a Denso one anyway in the future, so we'll see what happens. I did have a look at mounting that in the lathe. Like you can mount that, like you mount it backwards, you mount that on the tool post and you bore it the other way that you would normally do it. I can drill that out and I would be able to sleeve it. The only trick is drilling that really tiny hole there. It's minute. You really need a special little machine to drill that tiny hole. That one there's fine. That looks like about 4 mil, 3.5, 4 mil. But that thing there, that's just like human hair stuff. You need a special little machine to drill like that. And I just don't have it. So we may have to cough up the bucksheesh for that one. It's $330 plus freight, 2 ways. There's that thing on. It looks fine. It's not on really tight, but that should be roughly where it goes. Got new stainless bolts for everything. That looks really, fairly good. This rubber's great. I think there's a little something that goes there, and that'll probably have to be trimmed off. I'll leave it till later. Just for now, that's done. The door's ready to go on once I assemble the door. I'm just putting this master cylinder on for the brake. I always like to use R-clips. I don't like split pins. Wherever I can, I'll use an R-clip. Now I've just got to put this rubber on. We'll see if it'll go on easy. There's that master cylinder installed. It's got that new rubber. It makes it look nice. Those other rubbers have just had it. Them wires aren't staying like that. They'll end up getting eaten up like the rest of it. So we just got to make a decision on the clutch master cylinder. We're going to send it away and spend $333 on getting it done, or I'm going to try and fix it, or what. It's probably better to send it away. But we'll see what happens. The old rubbers and all the old bolts and things I'm replacing, I'm keeping. Everything gets just kept. One thing I've got to do is change these wheels. Alright, I've got 2 new ones here. You've got to grind the head off this. One of the guys told me on the comments, that same guy, Voice Dance Honda, you've got to grind that off, and then you've got to tap that and put one of them things in at the end of it, because you got to retain that. That's a special oil feed rivet. It's not just a normal rivet. It's got a little hole here, and that's a dish there that captures the oil. Splash feeds that roller bearing. They're both the same, so it's a pretty important rivet. You probably could make it, but I'm just going to try and do what the old mate suggested. Before I grind that off, I've drilled that with a 5mm bit. It pretty much gives me the centre of the part I want to drill out. So it's not a bad little tip. I've drilled them out. It goes down into the centre. I can see right through that bolt. There's a little bit of light through there. This one's probably the same, but I've drilled a 3mm hole. I'm going to tap it with a 4x7, 0.7, and then I've got those screws there. I'll grind the head off next. I got that one tapped. I'm doing this one. I tapped it. When I went to back the tap out, it wouldn't come out, and the bloody thing ended up snapping. So I don't know. There's no way you can get that out of there. Good luck. I'm either going to have to leave it like that, or I'm going to have to make a rivet. Like it's a special rivet, but I don't think we can probably make it. We'll see. Just got to be careful when you do the length of that hole and gouge that out with. They've just ground that out with a grinder. See what happens. I've had enough. Yeah, I'm over. I bought myself this Dremel kit, the Easy Lock setup. Not a bad little deal, really. I got all that for, it was only $87, valued at $140. I was just going to buy that, and it was going to cost $46, I think it was, just for that. So I got all this other stuff for $40. It was recommended by Kev from Kev's Can Cave. He's got a good YouTube channel if you just want to check him out. Right, after a lot of mucking around, I've got that in, I've got it right. It's got to have a little bit of slop. You can't have that. It's just got to have a fraction of free play, so it spins real free. That's actually perfect now. Took a bit. This one, not so much. I've still got to muck around with that. It's got a tap jammed in there. So what happened with this one, like I didn't do it with this one, but see how it's had a fraction of meat taken out of here. Well, the actual pin itself is probably just a fraction short, and it kept on, when I did it up, it kept being a little bit tight, so I put a little shim in there, the size of the end of that rivet, and just shimmed it a fraction. Now it spins great. that is good to go. I've had it in and doesn't hit. That part's finished. This part here, I'll work on it tomorrow, but I did find out you can buy that pin. I can even make that. I was going to make it, but you can buy it, so we may as well just buy it. Anyway, we'll see. We'll have to decide tomorrow because we actually haven't ordered the chains. I want to get them. I want them ordered. I want them here. I want to keep working on that. First thing I'm doing today is installing this pipe. It goes from the master cylinder down to there. Might need a little bit of bending or something. I've painted it and I've buffed it all up and sprayed it in clear. I will replace what I have to, but this pipe's fine. It's not blocked, so I'd rather use the factory part. The pipe's in. They're always tricky to get in, those things, because it's got to be exactly lined up or they'd never screw in. And, you know, yeah, they're just hard to line up and they're hard to screw in. Anyway, I got it in. It's very neat. I got that sorted out, made a little rubber for it. Looking good. Looking really nice. Anyway, that's that. I've got to go and work on something else right now. Chances of getting that tap out of there are 0. I'm just going to make one of these pins, just because I feel like it. I'm going to use that bit of steel there. Alright, I'll bore that, get that down to size and length, same as that. I'm going to drill a hole through the centre of it, probably 4.5 mil. And I'll cut it off where I want it, and then I've got to put that slash cut in it so it picks up the oil. I bought a little tool for the Dremel, that's what I'm going to use that for. I've got that at the size and length I want. That's a little sleeve that goes over it. Now I'm going to just drill it out. I'll center it with that bit there. Do that. There's that part of it. I'm just going to, I'll tap it and then I'll assemble it and just make sure it spins right. I may have to just shorten that a mil. We'll see. Well, there's that bit done. Actually, that's actually an M5 tap by 0.8. I did the same to the other one. I originally did M4 by 0.7, but I changed it. These have a bigger head. Just realised I've got to reduce the size of the head. It should be about 16 mil. At the moment it's 18, so I've got to take a couple of mil off it. It's nothing really. Just back that off in a bit. Quickly check, see if this fits. Pretty close, just take a little bit more off it. That should fit. That doesn't have to be exact anyway, it's just a bit big. That's perfect. What we've got to do next is grind a flat section off that. See, it's got a flat piece there. So that sits up against a little foot thing and it stops it from spinning. So I'll do that next. That little flat bit, I just filed that. It's got to be on a certain angle too. You can't just put it anywhere. I had to line this up, made sure that hole was where and that flat section lined up. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it's fairly close. I've made that hole a fraction bigger because I didn't have a, what is it, 4 mil. I didn't have like a 3.7 mil bit. That's about 3.7, so I made it 4. Well, there's that. It fits perfectly, spins perfectly. All I've got to do now is put this slash cut in it, which is probably the most critical part. If I didn't judge that right, the whole thing's going in the bin. So we'll see. There's a little part goes down to the hole and feeds oil. I've just got to part it off now and it's pretty much done. I'll film a bit of this, but I'm going to have to stop and grab the thing. Right, I'm going to have to do this with 2 hands. There's the old one with the tap busted off in it. There's the new one. It's like I bought one. I'm gonna throw that together and call that done. It catches oil, no problems at all. On homemade Honda cam sprocket, chain sprocket, axle rivet. There it is, all done. Spins good, it's got a nice bit of free play. Like I said, you don't want them too tight. There's a little note here, tells you that. You want to make sure it's got a bit of slop in it. Not too much, just the right amount. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's fixed. They're going on. Anyway, I'll make a little video of what I've done. Doesn't look like I've done much since the last video, but that stuff takes a lot. It takes a lot of mucking around and getting all that stuff I've put on the car. And so what I'll be doing tomorrow is I'm going to fit all these pipes. I'm going to make these pipes look better. I was going to replace them, but I think I'll just stick with the originals. I'm going to buff them up and clear them. Put them all on. But they're going on. Anyway, thanks for that.